everybody, it's Michelle, and we're going to continue on with our subject of hope. This week, we're talking about hope because hope seems to be something that in my life oftentimes is elusive. I don't know about you, but I have short-term and long-term memory loss when it comes to what God has done for me. You'd think that after all these years, you would have this bushel full of hope. You would know that God is tried and true. And when something comes along where you feel hopeless, you would just run to him right away and just fall at his feet and say, Lord, I trust you with this. I give this to you. But oftentimes, I don't do that right away. I do everything in my own power to try to make it right or fix it or change it or whatever, and then I come crawling to the Lord when I'm exhausted. And so today, I hope that we can be reminded by the woman we're going to read about in Mark chapter 5, 25 through 28, because she had it going on. She was the woman who had the issue of blood. She had a disease by where she could not stop bleeding. And in fact, she had been bleeding for 12 full years. And it says, and she had endured much at the hands of many physicians and had spent all she had and was not helped at all, but rather had grown worse. After hearing about Jesus, she came up in the crowd behind him and touched his cloak. For she thought, if I touch his garment, I will be made well. You know what I love about her? She didn't have a maybe in this sentence. She had an if I just touch the garment. She didn't say, well, maybe God has something for me today. Maybe that Jesus can help me. She knew the power that was in front of her. Her hope was in front of her. It wasn't behind her with the physicians, and it wasn't behind her at the bank, because those were bottomed out. But her hope pushed her toward the Christ. It pushed her through that crowd, even though she was sick and worn out and felt lousy. And then what I love is she just touched the edge of his garment. That's a person that understood the full power of Christ. She knew she didn't have to talk to him. She knew she didn't have to wrap her arms around him and beg and plead. She knew that he was so power-packed and so magnificent that she could just touch the edge of his garment and she'd be made well. And her hope is what pulled her forward. Her hope is what got her there. He's with you today, and he's in front of you, Facebook friends, not behind you. Let's press in through the crowd and the pressure, and let's just believe to touch the edge of who he is and be made well. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow.